All right. Um, just bear with me for a moment here. Just trying to check and make sure that everything's running smoothly and correct. And then we'll get right into it. Um, all right. So I'll start off, of course, with saying Shalom. Of course, all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And just a flow for the spirit, man. And I just wanted to give a little commentary, real quick, man. I was listening just an hour ago. I was listening into a stream that this brother named oh shit, what was this guy's name? It wasn't Midas. It was damn, I can't remember the guy's name. But anyway, there's a guy from Discord who I believe was Damien or something like that. But he was having a discussion with Perry's sidekick. This character, Perry, right? Which Perry's sidekick is this dude named Tim, which is short for Timothy, right? So, this guy Damien or whatever the brother's name was. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just don't remember the man's name off the top of the head. But I believe it's something along those lines. But I was listening to the discussion, when he was basically cutting this guy 6 ways to Sunday, because Perry and Timothy, all they really do is they can repeat maybe 3 scriptures off the top of the head, and that's all the conversation revolves around. They'll use a scripture that says, nearly paraphrasing it, but he that commits sin is of the devil, right? They'll use that and say, oh, well, see, do you still sin, right? Do you have any sin? And if you say you do, well, they'll bring that verse up and say, oh, we'll see, it says he that sins is of the devil, right? But the problem with that is that's talking about, like willful sin, all right? And then they were saying, oh, well, all sin is willful. There's no such thing as unwillful sin. Well, let me give you an example that's contrary to that. And this is a real life example. I'm just going to pick one because this happened to me a handful of times. But I'm just going to use this as one example. What is a example of a sin that I committed that was not willful? It's a very easy one. I had I was at Popeyes, right, and I got myself a $5 chicken box. And as I'm eating the chicken, it turned out that there was a piece of like popcorn shrimp, right? The little, balls of shrimp, that got fried. I didn't know the difference because haven't had that type of food, in years. I'm not the type that really likes, seafood. I'll have fish, once in a while, but, shellfish, crabs, shrimp, I don't really eat that stuff, but I've had them before in the past, right? So after I ate it, I could tell, oh, well, that was actually shrimp. But how's it not my fault? Because I didn't order that. It just so happened that a piece of popcorn shrimp made it into my food that I bought. But I did not deliberately purchase that because I know that goes against the dietary law. Right? So, see, that's an example of a sin that I technically did commit by eating that, but it was unwillful because I did not know that was in there. You know what I'm saying? And that's happened multiple times. I'll give you another example. There's certain foods like Slim Jims, right? I grew up on those, beef jerky sticks. I've been eating that since I was like 7 years old, right? Until recently, because I found out that one of the ingredients, in it is pork product, right? So now I don't eat them anymore, However, before I did, because I was unaware that that was in it, right? So I'm giving you an example of a sin that was committed, but it was unwillful because we were unaware that was in the food. But now that we know, now you learn to withstand yourself from it. Same thing. I'll give another example. Just like with the moon pies, right? I liked the moon pies. I thought they were all right, but then I didn't eat them anymore because then after I looked into the ingredients, I found out that they can contain, I believe it's gluten or gelatin, something like that. They contain in them, right? Which, if you do the research on that, it's part of pork, right? So I don't eat that anymore, obviously, because that goes against the scriptures. But I'm just bringing that out as a pure example of how you can sin unwillfully. That's a clear example of that, because that was a sin, but that was unwillful because I was unaware that was in there, right? A very good example to use would be that. And by the way, this is not StreamYard, so I can't have anyone hop on here, just to put that disclaimer out there. Yeah, and I told Luca he was going off with getting these juicy juices, right? These juicy juice. I never said that he should be doing that. I clearly told him that that's going off, so that's on him. That's unfortunate, but again, that's on him, you know. Uh let's see. Hey, what's up, Galapagos? Yeah, Mexicans tribe of Issachar. I don't think you heard the discussion. I'm not sure if you might be tuning in late, so you might not have heard what I was saying. I wasn't saying that I'm going around eating those things. I given an example that happened to me. I ordered a chicken dish, right? And without my knowledge, right, without the knowledge of me knowing it, there was a piece of popcorn chicken that got thrown in there. Now, I don't eat that type of seafood, so I don't know the difference between that and the popcorn chicken, right? So I accidentally ate that, but that's not my fault because I was unaware that was in there. And keep in mind, I ordered chicken, not seafood. You know what I'm saying? As the scriptures tell you, what is that? I want to say, um, I believe that's First Corinthians, the 10th chapter. It says to eat whatever is sold in the shambles. So that means, if I order a sandwich from a restaurant that is chicken, right? If I order a chicken patty sandwich or a beef burger, hey, as far as I know, that's a chicken patty or a beef burger. Right now, if they did put a secret ingredient in it without me knowing, that's not my fault because I ordered a beef sandwich. Same thing with the food you buy at the grocery store. Truthfully, you don't know what the hell they're putting on, in those cans or whatever it is that you're eating, man. You don't know what the hell is getting put in there. So you got to be careful. That's all I can say. But the scriptures say don't question that which is sold in the shambles, meaning what? That if you purchase a particular food, it should be what you ordered. Okay, so if they did unwillingly, without your knowledge, put something in there that's unlawful without you knowing it, that's not your fault. Because again, you don't know if that's in there or not. And that goes for everything that we eat. Okay, it's impossible to truly know what they're actually putting in your food. And that's just called keeping it real. So again, that doesn't mean that you can go around eating whatever the hell you want. Of course not. It doesn't mean that. And no one ever said that. But I'm saying that I'm just giving that example that I gave. Okay, I'm giving that example that clearly breaks down what I'm saying. Right, that answers Perry's question about the whole reason I brought that up is to answer Perry's question, because he was saying that, every sin you commit is a willful sin. There's no sin that you commit that's not um like willful, which I clearly just cut that 6 ways from Sunday with that one statement right there. Okay. All right, let me say this, because I think some brothers need to clear out the earwax out of their ears, because apparently they don't really. Either they're just tuning in now and they literally missed out the 5 minutes of the entire discussion to understand what we're speaking of. The scriptures say, understand first before you rebuke, right? So, once again, so called Mexicans are the tribe of Issachar. Bro, did you hear what I just said? I didn't bring that up to say that you can eat what the hell you want. I didn't say that. I brought that up as an example of how I purchased chicken, and without me knowing it, they slipped other meat in there. So I ate without knowing that was in there. Okay, if I knew that was in there, of course I would not have eaten it. Okay, just like I'll give an example. Same thing with the Slim Jims, right? I grew up on those. However, if I was aware that there was a meat in there that was not lawful to eat, I would not eat that, right? So I did not know that back then. But now that I do know, now I stay away from that. That's all I simply said. Some brothers need to clear out that earwax, man. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Austin, I don't know what you're I don't know what you're saying, man. You got to click the link next time, man. What? Why is it? It's funny because I happen to notice, man, that guys are coming around here and asking us if we're Muslims. It's like, well, what the hell are we saying that makes you think that we're Muslims? And that's a real question. Like, what the hell are we saying that makes you think that we're Muslims? It just don't make no sense. Because I saw someone ask Bible Defender that a couple times. It's like, what the hell did he say that makes you think that he's a Muslim? And that's a real question. It's like, what the hell did the brother say to make you think that way? You ask them, they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Let me just bear with me for a second. Excuse background noise. Yeah, so I hope I cleared that up for you. Um, Mexicans tribe of Issachar, man. You might not have heard the whole discussion that I was trying to say, right? So you should go back and listen to what I was saying, before you try to jump to a conclusion, because you didn't fully understand what I was saying. Okay, not at all in any of my statements did I justify nor say that someone's supposed to go around and eat those type of foods. I never said that. I was simply making a statement that in the past we've eaten food that without our knowledge contain unlawful products in it, and that goes for all of us. You too. Okay, that's just the way it is, especially over here in Babylon the Great, right? All this stuff is defiled over here. So you can try to live, you know, um, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Mexicans are the tribe of Issachar. I understand, man. I understand. That's cool. No hard feelings, man. Just go back and you can listen to the whole, statement that I was making. It's cool, man. No biggie. Um, but yeah, it just shows you, man, because going back, to characters such as Timothy and Perry, those guys are on there saying, hey, look, as long as you believe in Christ, you can do whatever the hell you want, right? They're talking about freedom, right? So according to them, freedom is having the liberty to, as long as you believe in Christ, you can do whatever the hell you want. That's what they're saying. But you see, my question to them, and I've never had an answer to this question whenever I asked this. My question was, if the Most High, right, or Christ, are okay with their followers doing whatever the hell they want as long as they believe in Christ, well, why is the Most High so angry with the inhabitants of the world that don't believe, who are committing the same actions that these guys are saying believers can commit? It just doesn't make any sense. Austin, what's your question? And Austin, why don't you, it's funny because earlier this morning we were doing a 3-hour live stream on StreamYard. You had every opportunity to come hop on and click the link and have a discussion, so, you got to hop on next time, man, if you have a question. Let's see. Just trying to get caught up on the chat here. See what's going on. Oh man. As I said, man, it's there's so much going on, man. It's unbelievable. I never, just like, what's this character? D. McClung, one of his statements he makes, always got a quote from that guy. One of his statements is he says something along the lines, that people never fail to amaze me, right? People never fail to amaze you. With the bugged out nonsense that we're hearing out here, such as we actually had a full preterist call onto the live stream this morning, to try to debate us about, that we're living in the kingdom of heaven today, that all nations on earth are under the dominion and authority of Christ today, which in a way he's right on that, but he's also wrong, because we understand that the Most High is in control of all things. We do understand that is true, but the part where he goes off on is Christ is going to return in the future and set up his physical kingdom over all of these other empires on the earth. That has not happened yet. That's going to happen in the future. Austin, who the hell is this Brian guy, man? And as far as your other question, we've done videos on that in the past. So you can do the research on that for why we have such a viewpoint, because that is in the scriptures, in case you didn't know. And again, we've done videos on that in the past. You can look into it. You're just thinking from a westernized philosophy. So that's why, things are difficult for you to understand. Like, let me give you an example. Did you know that according to the scriptures, if going by the Old Testament laws, which are still in effect, right, because the law never changed, but there's a law about how, if two men are fighting, and then the wife of one of the men, strikes the other man, in the ball, inside joke, guess what is the judgment for that? Do you know what the judgment is? Guess what would have happened? For something like that, the woman would get her hand cut off, according to the Holy Scriptures. That's not me saying that. That's what the book says. Go pick it up and read it. That's in the book of the law. If that was to happen, the judgment that would happen to that woman, for, hitting a man below the belt would be, losing that hand. Right? So the judgments of the scriptures are harsh, man. It's a harsh thing, but it has to be that way. Why? Because you see, if you do the research on how, in ancient Israel, things were handled, the judgments, they would take place out in public, right? So if there was let's say for an example, just to give an example, if there was a case of a woman committing adultery, um, what they would do is she would get stoned out in public, right? So the people of the town, they would come out and they would, cast the stones at them, and they die that way. That was the way that judgment went in the ancient world, right? So you might hear that, and that might not, fit comfortable inside joke. That might not feel good, to think that way, which is understandable because you were brought up in a westernized world, right? You were brought up with westernized philosophy. But going back to the ancient world, that's the way that things were. Okay, that's the way that things were handled back in those times. That doesn't mean we're saying to go out and do that now, but we're just laying out the facts that that's how it was, right? So, I mean, if you don't agree, then you don't agree. Keep it moving. But, it's all clearly laid out in the scriptures. Let me see. Well, Austin, that's a lie there. Whoever told you that is committing a sin unto death for being a false witness. But what I did say is that is in the scriptures, that the Bible says that that's okay. It says that. I'm not going to twist what the Holy Book says. It says that. It doesn't mean that I'm trying to go around doing that. It doesn't mean that. Just like let me give you an example. If I tell you the history of what the Nazis did in World War II, does that now mean that I am a Nazi and support that? No, I'm just telling you the history about what happened in the world history, right? That's just what you call logic. All right. So just because we explain something that's in the scriptures, that doesn't mean that we are saying, that's what you should be doing now. Just to clarify that. Who is this Stavley guy that I keep seeing mentioned in the comments? Who the hell is this Stavley person? David Stavley, I believe is what he's saying. I don't even know who the hell that is. Oh, I think I got it. Austin must be IDL. Yeah. Austin must be either LOP or IDL. I can't tell. And I gotta give credit to LOP. Me and him were talking earlier today. And he made me a thumbnail or two. For a future stream where he basically put like I think 8 people's icons together so we can have a good thumbnail for the stream. So you did a good job on that. Of course, thank you, LOP, if you're listening. Thanks for doing that. I always like to use, those type of thumbnails for the streams. Personally myself. Well, hold on a second. Yeah, Galapagos. I agree with you. Telling them to learn how to spell. Yeah, Austin. Hey, look, man, if you want to come have a discussion, you got to learn proper English. If you want to have a discussion, right? If you those wants to have discussion, you do need to learn proper English, my friend. Inside joke. Shout out to anybody who gets that joke. But anyway, um, let's see. Oh man. This brother's writing be as bad as as Guy Fawkes. Look up that story. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Oh, okay. All right. Um, I'll accept that answer. But yeah, Caleb, I don't even know who the hell this Steve Lee guy is, man. So you're in the wrong place. That's all I can tell you, man. Oh, first of all, Austin, what does God look like, by the way? Is God a rainbow color, or is he a white man, or like what does the Most High look like from your perspective? Bear with me for a moment. Just trying to get caught up on the chat real quick. Wait. So Austin, wait a second. Hold on. Austin, right? You don't believe that any gods exist, right? But yet you're coming on here defending this flat earther, which again I don't know who the hell this is, but let's just roll with it. So wait, if he's a flat earther, that means that he must believe that the earth was divinely created, right? So if you're here trying to support him by logical deduction, that must mean that you agree with what he's saying. So are you an atheist then? But yet you support the flat earth? If you are, well, that's an illogical fallacy. Look that word up. Oh, I agree with you, Minor Golf. This brother must be under the influence of something, man. This guy is off the wall. Wait, you're saying we've been waiting 5,000 years for Christ? What the hell are you talking about, man? Christ came 2,000 years ago, for his first, the first time he came down. So we're 2,000 years later now. So could I ask, what do you mean by that we've been waiting for him for 5,000 years? What do you mean by that? Did you mistype that, or what the hell are you talking about, man? Creation Bear, this is a good question. Well, let me read this. He asked, what is the quickest debunk to the singular Antichrist? People seem to go to that a lot. My answer to that is you just have to go to, what is that? 1 John 2 and 18. And I believe there's another one just a few verses down in like verse 22. They tell you that an Antichrist is anyone who denies that it says Jesus, right, is the Christ. Right, so if you deny that who the world calls Christ, was the Savior, well, then you're what we would call an Antichrist. And then in the same chapter, you can read it, it tells you there are many Antichrists. So if we're waiting for one man, to come up in the future to be this one Antichrist that takes, domination over the world, which is what these, Christians and whatever teach on the internet, if that's true, well, why is it saying that there's many Antichrist? And it tells you exactly what they are. An Antichrist is anyone that denies that the Christ, has came in the flesh. So, guys that come around here, such as, Mike, right, Pop's son, he doesn't believe in the New Testament anymore. 2 weeks ago he did, but now he don't for some reason. So that brother would be an antichrist now, right? He would be considered an antichrist because he denies that the Christ has came. He's still waiting for another person to come in the future, to be the Messiah. That's what he's saying. So the Messiah hasn't even came yet. So we still have to wait that many years, for them to be born, for them to grow up, and then, to deliver his people or some madness like that. So we're looking at maybe 20 years, if not longer, so that's madness right there. Pure stupidity. And wait a second. I thought that there was no Savior besides the Most High, according to him. So who is this Savior you're waiting for to come down here? Because you were bringing up to us that there's no Savior besides the Most High. So that throws away the whole Christ figure, is what your argument was. But then you admitted that you yourself are waiting for a Savior to come and to save us. So doesn't that negate the whole argument that you said? Just by logical conclusion, that would seem so. Because if he's saying there's no Savior except the Most High, but yet he admitted he's still waiting for a Savior to be born into the world and to save us all, well, that's a direct contradiction from his understanding. Let me see. Let me see. Hey, Austin, man. We don't block people on the channel unless they're making, threats or stuff like that. I'm usually a cool dude. I like to leave the platform open, for, as people would call it now, they call it freedom of speech, right? I allow anyone to voice their opinion in the comment board. You're welcome to do that, man. But, you know, um, the statements that you make, you need to be able to validate with reasonable proof. Okay, so I'll give you a couple more chances, and if you continue in what you're doing, then your ass is out of here. Just a little warning for you, man. Um, just a little heads up. Let's see real quick. Yeah, man. Earlier today, that was a good stream. I had to drop out because I had to handle something, but I was listening to the rest. It was a good show. I seen that even Raphael hopped on at the end, man. Um, and I seen that even Tahor, I believe he did another video not too long ago. Earlier today, he did another video about Raphael. I got to go back and watch that. I haven't seen it yet, but but yeah, man. I think that Raphael was sincere. With his reasoning, I do believe that, but I think he's just mistaken, right? As we like to joke around about, guys are just looking a little bit too deep into the things that they're saying, so they're getting all, choked up, just because they're looking a little bit too deep into things. Just like Perry, oh, do you sin? Do you sin? But do you sin? And then they'll bring up, oh, well, he that sins is of the devil. So see, you can't, if you sin, then that means you're going off, right? That means you can't be saved if you have any type of sins. It's like, no, that's not what it means. No, that's ridiculous. You can't just pick one verse and build a whole, new philology. I meant theology, excuse me. You can't build a whole new theology off of one or two verses. You can't do that. Christ said, I came in the volume of the whole book, right? And in order to prove something, you had to go here a little and there a little, right? Line upon line, precept upon precept, Isaiah 28 and 10. Let's see. Yeah, Austin, man, you're man, how many, it's funny. How many times do I have to say that I don't even know who the hell this character is that you make mention of? It's like how many times do I have to say that? Apparently, I was joking around earlier about how guys had to clear out that earwax. You man, I mean, Christ, clean out that earwax, man. Apparently, you didn't hear what I said earlier. Go get yourself some Q-tips, because you have hearing problems. Might want to go get your ears checked. Let's see. Oh, that was a Creation Bear. That was a guy named George was his first name, right? There was a guy named George who was a full preterist, because here's what you have to understand. When someone tells you they're a preterist, you have to ask them a question. You have to ask them, are they a full preterist or are they a partial preterist? Because even though both of them are called preterist, they don't both hold the same beliefs. There's people who are preterist that would be considered a partial preterist. They believe that a majority of things in the scriptures, prophetic, have already taken place. But then you have a full preterist, which is of the belief that all things, including Christ returning and setting up his kingdom on earth, that all of those things already taken place. However, the partial preterist does not believe that all those things happen. They might believe, just as an example, which each of them are different, so that's why you have to have individual discussions. But for an example, a partial preterist might believe Christ already returned, but they don't believe that the kingdom of heaven was established yet. Just to give one example of how they differ from a full preterist. So if you ever have someone tell you they're a preterist, you have to ask them what one they hold to. Would they consider themselves to be a partial preterist, or would they consider themselves to be a full preterist? You have to ask them that question. Let's just see the chat real quick. Oh, that's a good one. Galapagos, man. That's a good one, man. So how the hell is it that that George is living under the new covenant today, but yet he's out here laboring over there in Houston? And then another thing, I believe we asked him this last time. I believe we asked him, can you name all the laws off the top of your head? And he said he can't. It's like, oh, okay, well, then that proves we're not in the new covenant, because it said that the laws would all be written on your mind. It says your heart, we know that means the mind. But he admitted that they're not written on his heart. So if they're not written on your heart, then how the hell can we be in the new covenant? And then second, it said that everyone from the least to the greatest, everyone would know the Lord. Right? So the very fact that we do live shows, open panel discussions where we can come on and debate the scriptures, the very fact that we're all doing that proves that we can't be under the new covenant at this current day and time, because we would all know the Lord. Right? But we're all, having discussions on why we see differently, containing to the scriptures. Let me see. Just to read up on the chat. It's Shalom to Luke Matt. I see you there. Yeah, he was George was out making deliveries. Right? That guy was out trying to debate us, or have a discussion why he's on the job, right? Why he's making deliveries. I mean, it's like, damn, man, you know, call in when you're at home or something. So at least we don't have all that wind in the background, messing with the audio. You know what I'm saying? Um, but the point is still valid that how could we be in the new covenant if all of these characters are just, living a slave life, but working a 9 to 5, living on an unlivable wage, which is what vast majority of us are doing. Right. So how the hell are we living in the kingdom? But yet, you can barely afford to make it week to week. Hell, I can remember, times coming up, man. Um, there were certain times where my family had to live off $10 a week. A couple of times. Because that's how bad it was. You know what I'm saying? At one point in time, it's still bad now. It's still bad now. But yeah, it tells you, oh, what is that? I want to say Psalms, the 73rd chapter, if I'm not mistaken. It says, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men, right? So these men that have, rulership over the world, right? These men are in trouble like we are. Like, I used to work for a multi-millionaire, man. He ain't in no trouble. The guy's, bringing a damn new truck, to the job site every couple months. You know what I'm saying? He ain't doing bad. The guy can sit on there and, I remember this one time I was sitting there, with him. I was listening to a discussion, but between him and someone else, I was just sitting there. I had to watch his dog for him, while he had to expect something on the properties there. I was listening to a conversation he was having. He was sitting there talking about, signing, $10,000, $15,000 checks like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, man. Think about that. Being able to sign checks that are, $10,000, $15,000, without it being, a big deal at all. It's insane, man. You know how wealthy some of these people are out here. 10K, that's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money. Let me see. Here for me a second. Let me just grab a drink. All right, let me see if I missed anything in the chat. Yeah, Luke. We always like to joke about that. Certain guys, man, just trying to be too deep. And that's how you get twisted into a pretzel, is by trying to know more than what you need to know. Right? You don't need to know the history of all the Vatican popes, like, what Ridge is big into. Hey, look, I'll give Ridge credit. He doesn't know much about the skibbies, but one thing that he does know a lot about, and I got to give him credit, is he knows a lot about history, investing, and, especially the Vatican history dealing with the popes and stuff like that. I'll give him credit. He knows a lot about that type of stuff compared to myself. So he would be someone I'd listen to if I have a question about that, because he probably would know more than I do about any of those subject matters. But then when it comes to the scriptures, he'll get, he don't really know what the hell is going on. And I don't say that with a disrespectful manner, but he don't really read. He literally admits he doesn't read the scriptures. So I mean, he gotta start to read, man. That's all I can say. You gotta read those scriptures. Bear with me for a moment here. I was just trying to check something. Let me check the chat. See what's going on. Yeah, Luke. All not today. It's not going to be, but tomorrow or the next day I will re-upload it, because dealing with these streams, you have to, it takes them a long time to render, right? So this one, when I wake up tomorrow morning, it should be rendered, right? But it takes a long while for it to totally load in for whatever reason. I'm not sure, but I usually have to let them sit for overnight, until the next day before I try to re-upload them. Hey, well, I'll say this, mine golf, that pretty much all of us, are gonna be in a tough spot, right? I mean, who the hell has, you know, let alone $1,000, set up. They've done polls, about Americans, and they found out that almost half of the United States, right? Almost half of the United States population does not even have $500 to $1,000, in emergency funding to cover a unexpected, event that might come up, right? Such as, if you need a car repair, or for anything, right? Unexpected bill or whatever. They found out that almost 70% of all Americans don't even have $500 to $1,000, put aside for a emergency fund. So think about that. So these people out here are done, man. And that's why they're sending out these stimulus, which it's very likely they're going to be coming up with another one shortly as well. Because at this point, they just have to. I mean, this is just, it's terrible. It's literally just absolutely unbelievable. America truly is a third world country, is what the United States is. Right? America now is a third world country. Right? Not everywhere here it is, but in a lot of places, especially where I see, these people are out of their mind over here, man. Matter of fact, I was laughing the other day, man. I was walking past a local store here in the area, and there was someone out there who was, drunk, or having a mental breakdown or something like that. So the cops had to come in. They had to bring an ambulance, and they tried to, strap this person down, in the stretcher. They were getting them, a hard time doing so for whatever reason. I don't know the whole story. I'm just saying what I've seen. So they had to be strapped down, and taken away somewhere. It's like, Christ, what the hell's going on out here? You know what I'm saying? So these people are losing their minds, man. And they should be. Why? Because of the circumstances that we're all in. It's unbelievable. So, these people, even in the world, they don't know nothing about, the truth or whatever. Even they're starting to see that something isn't right. It's like, why the hell should these CEOs be making millions upon millions of dollars a year? Meanwhile, I'm making less than $20 an hour working for them. Something doesn't seem right about that. And even the average Joe is now figuring that out, that it was all a scam. Right? It was all a scam to enslave you. That's what it was. America, this whole system was all a scam, just to deceive you and just to steal your money and make you poor. That's what it all was. And that's what it has always been from the start. And if anyone disagrees, well, then you just don't know what the hell's going on. That's simple. Is the audio working fine? Is the audio working all right? Because I believe someone said they couldn't hear clear. So if someone could let me know if it's coming through clear now, that'll be appreciated. Okay. Let's see. Bear with me just 1 second. Excuse me, I just had to sneeze real quick. Um, Let me comment on this. Creation Bear said, I'm thankful that my birth dad is into the word, but he watches Creflo Dollar. My question is in regards to cussing, he's very against it, says it brings on the negative spirit. What's your take? Well, I'll respond with this is that for one, we should keep it friendly, and peaceful when we have discussions. However, I am aware that the modern words that we have that are so-called curse words, they're not actually curse words because what makes a word quote unquote bad is just people's perception of the word. Like I'll give an example. I'll make an exception and say this one time. Um, the word happy, right? A word that could be used for it would be the word gay, right? It just meant to be happy, right? But now it means something different. So words can change over time with the meaning that society gives to them. All right. So I wouldn't say that that type of cursing's going necessarily off, but it would be better to refrain from that type of wording, based on the circumstances that we're in. We should try to watch what we're saying because we have to watch the YouTube, and also for new people that are getting exposed to this thing, it should be, more friendlier in our speech. We try to convince them of why they should believe what we're saying. Let me see. Let me see. But yeah, man, it's definitely crazy what's going on, man. That's all you can say, man. Hey, look, I agree with the mind of golf. He said Galapagos, I have zero motivation. I just dream and golf. Yeah, man. I'm with you on that. I mean, right now, who the hell wants to go out and and work a 9 to 5 right now? I mean, what the hell's the point? So I know people, trying to, tell you to go, go find work, right? Go try to, get into some type of, sports or, other type of skill like carpentry, or something like that. But I'm thinking to myself, it's like, what the hell are you talking about? You don't see the world's literally coming to an end, and you're trying to convince me to go try to learn these skills, but yet World War III is about to get started any day now. You really can't see that we're on the verge of a nuclear annihilation, but yet the first thing on everyone's mind is trying to make it here in Babylon. Looking forward to the next 5 to 10 years here. Just think about that for a second. The world's on the verge of a nuclear annihilation right now, but everyone's focused on trying to make it here in Babylon the Great. Just doesn't something seem weird about that? And if one who's skeptical, I mean, hell, all you got to do is watch the news. Just yesterday, Russia launched this Satan 2 missile, which is capable of taking out, a state the size of, I believe they said Texas. Like just one could take out that massive state alone. That's a scary thing. And Russia's flexing, saying, these are here, to deter any other nation from getting involved. In Russia, they're, coming at NATO and America now, telling them, you better back off and stop sending. And that's the time we're coming into now, right? As Ezra in the Apocrypha calls it, the beginning of wars and great death, right? That's the time we're coming into now, is the beginning of wars. All right, that's the time that we're coming into right now. It's just the beginning. The scriptures tell you in Matthew, it's called the beginning of sorrows, right? Just the beginning of all of the hardships. That's the part we're in right now. It's getting much worse from here on out. And that's a scary thing, man. Because, look how bad things are already, especially for those of us who are on the lower brackets of society like myself. We don't have a pod to piss in and already, but yeah, we haven't seen nothing yet. So that's a scary thing to think about, man. That it's already terrible the way it is, but it's gonna get much worse than this. So that's a scary thing to think about, but that's just what it is. We're what we call ourselves a realist, right? We deal with the reality of the situation. Not that feel good Christian message. Someone asked how much time is left on ETT's last day counter. I would say that I would say, and again, it is true that no person knows the day or the hour, so I'm not going to come on here and ever make a statement and say that, oh, it's going to be this month for that year. Nobody can say that because nobody knows. Just to clarify that nobody knows the day or the hour. However, we can tell that it's near, by the signs that we see. So I think that it's reasonable to say that Christ would return within the next, from now to 3 years. I would say that's the most reasonable position to have on it. I don't see this place going on any longer than that. I just can't see it. I mean, it's terrible already, but we haven't seen nothing yet. So I think it's reasonable to have the viewpoint that from right now, to 3 years from now would be reasonable for Christ to return. But again, I'm not saying that that's what it is. I'm not putting that in stone. I'm just simply saying, as a man, it would seem reasonable to think that on that time scale, that the return would happen somewhere around there. But again, nobody knows. So I have to clarify that nobody knows, when that's going to happen. So it's a wait and see. But all I'm saying is all for the signs that we see in the world, and the scriptures even tell you that when you see these things come to pass, you'll know that it is near, even at the doors. Right. So going by that, when we see all of these things take place, we understand that that event must be very clear. One of my personal favorites, Second Ezra, is what is that? The ninth chapter, first one on down. When there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then you'll understand that this is the same time where the highest will begin to visit the world that he made. Right. So right now we're seeing earthquakes and uproars of the people. So now we know that the Lord's visiting the world. And not only that, we're seeing uptick in UFO activity, which are what? The chariots of God, right? The holy angels are in those UFOs. So all the signs are telling us that it's very near. So hopefully soon. I think it's reasonable to say from now to 3 years. But again, I had to clarify that no man knows the day or the hour. But we're just saying, going off of the signs, it would be reasonable for it to happen within that amount of time period. But again, nobody knows when that's going to happen. We're just open to speculation, if that would make sense. Yeah, I seen that Galapagos. Over here at Target, they pay I believe they're paying 15 over here to work at Target an hour, but it can go up depending on the time that you're working or the positions that you have. But it starts at 15. Even at McDonald's, I believe they're paying around that now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, man. You know, um, it would be crazy, man. I think back, looking back a couple of years ago, looking at now, it's like if you time travel back in, let's say, 2018, um, and tell people that, just a couple years in the future from now, there's going to be global events that are going to take place. Russia's going to move in and invade another country. The world's going to be shut down. Nobody would believe that. That's crazy to believe that would happen in the 21st century. That's crazy with the advanced technology we got today. To think that the world could be completely shut down, that's crazy to think that. But look, it happened. It happened, right? So, it's crazy. Just like another thing as well. You know, you can tell people that Jesus is a black man. They ain't gonna believe that. But then they're gonna see him return as a black man. So then when they finally see it, they're gonna believe it. That's why you have a saying out there that goes, seeing is believing, is what they say. Right? So, hey, you're gonna see it very soon. You're gonna see it soon. Let me see. Hey, what's up, Iger? Welcome to the show. Hey, what's up, Pops? We'll give Austin one more chance because I'm feeling generous. We'll give Austin one more chance. Austin, if you start, going off again, man, then you ass gets the boot, man. Right? But I'll give you one more chance just because I feel generous. Right? So we'll let you go one more time. But if it happens again, then you get the boot. Yeah, minor golf. I agree with that. The Bible makes a very what's the word I'm looking for? It makes stances such as, this event's going to happen, that event's going to happen. We believe it is going to happen, but it has to fulfill the statements that it makes, right? So if, everything calms down and everything goes back to how it was in 2016, then I can understand why one would question the scriptures, because it just wouldn't make sense for everything to calm down and go back to what they would call normal. That wouldn't make sense. That would be wrong. Because this is clearly the time that we've been waiting for. This is the time where all those prophecies are being fulfilled right now. So if everything goes back to normal, well, that would be that someone could argue and say that could be a good case against the scriptures. Because everything was heating up and looking like the prophecies were going to happen. So that would be a reasonable position to have, if that happened. Which again, we believe in the scriptures. That's why we're here talking about them. But we understand that if that doesn't happen, then maybe it's time to question it. But as I said, going by real life, it looks like everything it said is happening right now. So that's a step in the right direction to prove that the Bible is true, which we believe it is off of faith. Right? We believe in these things off of faith because the word faith just means a belief in something that can't be seen. So that's true for us. But then we also can see it by the events in the world that it's proving that it is true. We're just waiting for the major things to be fulfilled. Such as, the return of Christ, this MO, which it could be what's going on around now. Hell, if I see people getting sores, if I see billions of people, around the world who got these juices, start to get sores, at the same time, billions of people, and I'll be like, oh shit, that's what it is then. I'll say that, right? If I see billions of people at the same time receive the judgment in Revelation 16 for taking these waxes, then I'll say that, right? If I see that, right? But if I don't see that, well, then I won't take that position, right? But if I do see it, well, then I would, I'd say that would be enough to convince me that that's what it is. That would be my standpoint on it. So I guess it's all a wait and see right now. Let me see. Oh, it's here where I'm at. It's 11:50. Well, exactly 11:52, but I guess I could say 11:50. Let me see. Oh yeah, man. That's it's crazy what's going on. I don't know if y'all are keeping up with the news, about what's going on over in that one city because Russia has I believe going off what I seen yesterday, which I got to go back and watch the news later. Um but they were taking, control of the city. I believe it's called Mariupol or something like that. Right? It's a big city over there. But there's a steel mine, right, or steel plant over there that there's like 1,000 or 2,000 Ukrainians, holding up there defending themselves, right? They don't have a way out. They're all surrounded. So that's an interesting story in itself. Y'all can look that up on YouTube if you want to learn about it. What's going on because it's a developing story happening right now. Um, but yeah, it's crazy, man. It clearly looks like the start of the next world war. So hey, we're just watching the world events. That's all we're doing. We're watching these things, right? Because at the end of the day, you know, um, all you can do is sit back and watch. Habakkuk 2 and 2, the vision's yet for a appointed time, but at the end it will speak and it will not lie. Though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come, right? So right now we're just waiting for it, right? We're watching what's going on right now, because it clearly looks like a build up to something that's, you know, uh, going to involve the other nations in it, but as I said, we're just watching what's going on now, at this moment in time. Because it's all a build up. It doesn't just happen in 1 or 2 days. It's all a build up. It's like you have to get all of the blocks in place, so to speak, before the big things can happen. If, yeah, yeah, good serpent. Um, that guy don't know what the hell is going on, man. You know, hey, he don't even want to talk about the skibbies. You know what I'm saying? So, it's unbelievable. Dealing with guys like that. Go on their page, all they can say, Jesus this, Jesus that. They can't give any verses to validate anything they say. They're just, talking out of their behind. That's all they're doing. No, I haven't seen that. Galapagos. Where did that happen? Did that happen over there in the war zone, or did that happen somewhere else in the world? Let me just grab a drink real quick. All right. So any more questions or last minute topics, you're welcome to put them in now. I'm not going to go for too much longer. Maybe we'll go for another 15 more minutes. Sounds fine. Um, oh, and by the way, I seen that. I seen what are these guys? I saw that Cross the Line Radio is live right now. I wanted to go hop on there, and I wanted to ask Chataza And to Zaryak, I wanted to ask him about the flat Earth thing because okay, can anybody hear me now? My internet went out on me for a second there, so it booted me from the stream. So um I'm not sure if anyone can hear me smoothly. I apologize about that. It kicked me off. Um, but I got it working now. Um, as I said, man, you know, here it is. We're paying all this money for this internet, for this mobile service, and it's a bunch of shit, is what it is. Excuse my language, but it's pure nonsense, man. I can't even do a StreamYard stream on it, using it, right? It's just, it's BS. That's all I can say, man. Um, Let me see. Hell, I don't even remember what I was speaking. I wanted to make a point on something, but now I lost my train of thought. From when I lost connection. Um, Let me see. Oh yeah, that's a good point, Galapagos. He said, and we're supposed to believe that Nixon called the moon via landline, right? Think about that. How the hell is it? You just got to think about this for a moment. If we are getting our data from satellites, is what they're claiming. That's how we can call around the world. Is that's what they claim. So let's roll with that for a second. So if that's true, why is it that if you go to certain places on the earth, such as the middle of the desert, the Amazon rainforest, or the middle of the ocean, you can't get any reception. You can't reach anyone. There's no connection for you out there. But wait a second. I thought we have 50,000 satellites circling the Earth at all given points in time. So how the hell is it that we don't have connection in all of these, remote areas of the world, such as the middle of the ocean, a vast desert, or the Amazon rainforest? How the hell do we not have connection there if we have 50,000 satellites circling the world? That don't make no damn sense. So it's crazy. So how the hell is it that they were able in the 60s to call the moon that's 230,000 miles away? How the hell could they do it? And then what's even more ridiculous is NASA claims that they don't have the technology to get to the moon in 2022. So they went there in the 60s, but with the advanced technology we have in our time now, we don't have the technology to get there. That's utterly ridiculous because the guy said in the clip, which y'all probably seen it, but he said, we lost that technology and it's a painful process to build it all back again. It's like, wait a second, a painful process to build it all back again? Wait a second, that was 60s technology. We're talking the year 2020 or 2022. Y'all are talking about putting people on Mars to colonize that by 2030, and y'all can't even get to the moon? Come on, something doesn't seem right about that. I can't be the only one to see that. Yeah, yeah, and then, you know, the alien deception, right? The alien deception. Like there's gonna be, 'cause someone asked Dave, right? Well, why would they make the whole universe? Why would they come up with the lie of the universe? What would be the point of doing so? And he was like, hey, well, they did that, so they could come up with, a coming alien deception, right? Come up with another alien deception to deceive the world. That's what he's on there saying. So it's unbelievable, man. The people are gonna fall for this nonsense. No, and they're just repeating that because they heard somebody say that on the internet, so it sounded cool. That's really all they're doing, is just repeating something they heard on the internet. So most of these characters are doing. Bear with me a second. Let me see. Which I'm gonna end the show in just a couple minutes here. I'll just take in the last couple of comments. Galapagos said, I'm seeing more troopers every day teaching the Blue Beam narrative now. It's like they all got the next script sent to them in the mail. Yeah, man. It's crazy. Everywhere you go, this is what we call the FlatEarth starter kit. They all have the same ideas. Usually, it includes the flat Earth. Some of them include the scriptures in there. Which they don't understand that, but they'll add that in there. Um, the Project Bluebeam narrative, the Mandela effect, the oh hell, what else? What other ideas are going around out here, man? I mean, hell, the list can be endless. Oh, white Jesus, right? You know, uh, a whole bunch of other nonsense. Oh, that nuclear weapons are fake. That's a big one. Most flat earthers teach that as well. Oh, that dinosaurs don't exist. Can't forget about that one. So it's crazy, man. Oh, the simulation theory. Yeah, that's a big one. I mean, the list could go on. That's only a handful of mentions of theories that most of these guys teach. And some of them might be true, such as the flat Earth. That one is true, right? So that part of their starter kit, that part is true. We'll give them credit on that, and the scriptures are true, right? We'll give them credit on that too. But everything else they're saying is pretty much nonsense. Let me see. Hey, well, Iger, man, you can hop on a stream next time. We're on StreamYard, and you can ask us about it, or you can show us why you have that standpoint next time. Yeah. Y'all don't know who Dreadlord is, which the whole damn devil demon joke that actually started off with Dreadlord. What we would say is Dreadlord, which Dreadlord has another name. His other name is the Sovereign Israelite, but we call him Dreadlord because that's what his channel name was called. But we would say Dreadlord, day damn devil demon, right? Or day damn devil demon Dreadlord. So that's 5 D's in a row. 5 D's in a row going by that. So that's where that whole joke originated from. So y'all probably don't know who the hell that is. But Dreadlord, he believes that the real Jews are over in Israel. That teaches a flat Earth. That's true. I believe he teaches polygamy. That part's true. But then he says that a soul doesn't exist. Then he teaches there is a hell. Then he teaches that Mystery Babylon is the Vatican City. So I mean, there's a lot that he's going off on. We got to get him on the show, but he has his own little crew going. He has his own couple of guys. There's 3 or 4 guys that hop on with him usually, excuse me, and they have their chats just like we do around here. But everyone has their own little group that they get around with, or get along with, may I say, just like we do over here. So it's as I said, man, it's crazy. Everyone got their own little groups that they hang around with, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with hanging out with groups that have the same view. It's a good thing to do. But I'm saying, in this time, you got to pick the group that you're going to hang out with. You're going to go with GMS, which we follow GMS. but we know they're going off on things. Because if you get totally down with them, then you can't talk about flat Earth. So that's a no-no right there. So we can't totally get down with Tahar's camp because that's going off. You can't get down with Sakari. We'll give them credit because they're right on many things, but then we can't get fully down with them because they teach things that are pure bullshit, such as the elect will die after they live 1,000 years in the kingdom of heaven, or that Paul's writings are not inspired. So, I mean, those are two major, heresies at their teaching. It doesn't mean they're wrong in everything they say, but it just means they're going off on those. Give me a second. Hey, Iger. As I said, man, next time they're on StreamYard, you click the link and let's have a chat about it because I am intrigued in seeing your standpoint and why you don't believe in that. Because we that come around here, we definitely do believe in them. In fact, I don't have any reason to doubt that they are true. So if that's your viewpoint, you're welcome to believe what the hell you want to believe. That's cool. But I'm just saying, from my understanding, I see it differently. Yeah, Luke. Some people out there believe that all of that's fake, right? It's like how the hell could all of that footage that we see not be real? Like realistically speaking, how the hell does that make any logical sense? You have regular citizens who are recording what they're seeing and posting it to TikTok, right? Or to Instagram or, whatever else is out there. So you have people that have no affiliation with government who are recording these things and putting it on the internet as well. So I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, to come out with such a statement like that. It just doesn't make sense. It's just not logical. Let me see. Yo, Nemo, hold on a second. Nemo, didn't you come over from Perry's page, man? Aren't you a affiliate of Perryism? Right? Don't you subscribe to the idea of Perryism? Inside joke. Um, but anyway, as I said, you can bring your last minute comments in, but I'm gonna start closing up in a minute here because I gotta get going. Um, yeah, it was a good show. Let me see. This is ETT speaking, Nemo. And the screen's supposed to be black because I'm not sharing nothing on the screen. In case you didn't know. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Luke. We'll bring you on next time, man. Yeah, you're welcome, man. Anytime. It's always good to do these shows. Um, but yeah, I think we'll call that the show there. Um, oh man, oh man. Nemo asked, "ETT, do you still sin?" Let me answer that. Nemo, I have an answer for you. Yes, I do still sin. I do still sin, Nemo. Yes. Right? I still go off. It's not that I want to do that, but we're in the flesh, so there's sometimes you do things that you don't want to do. And even if you read, I was reading in Romans the 7th chapter, right? Paul spoke about, the things that I do, it's not me who wants to do it, but rather sin that dwells within me, right? But the point is that his flesh, that his physical body was still having sin, right? After he believed in Christ. So I mean, I don't really know where the hell these guys are going with it. And again, Nemo, are you a member of Perry's religion, right? Called Perryism. Do you believe in what Perry's saying? And if you do, next time we're live, you gotta click that link. Or you gotta come hop on here, man. Hold on a second. All right, Nemo. Nemo, do you still sin? I'll ask you because you asked me the question. Do you still sin? Oh man, y'all see that? Y'all see that? He wanted me to ask him. He literally asked me to ask him if he sins, and then when I do that, he responds and says, "None of your business." I mean, damn, this brother must be damn. Oh, what do they call it? I believe it's called schizophrenic, right? Where they have multiple different type of personalities or something like that. This brother must be. This brother don't know what the hell is going on, man. And it's funny because I used to work with somebody that was, I believe the correct word would be schizophrenic if I'm not mistaken, where they have like multiple different personalities. They talk to themselves and whatever. I used to work with someone like that. So that was, oh man, and I had to be nice, with them, because I actually worked for her father, right? Her father was the one who I worked for, um, and she worked for him, right? Um, but the point is it would be difficult, to have a discussion with her because one minute, she's talking behind your back, about if you did something wrong, on the job or whatever, she'll be talking about someone else, why she don't like them. Then in the next minute, she'll be, giving them compliments and, things that they're doing good. And it's real weird, real weird. You gotta like, it's like you're talking to two or three different people, is what it's like. It's very difficult to explain. But luckily, I don't have to do that no more. So at least that's a positive thing. Uh, let's see. Hey, Nemo must got more lines than the Zigger's cake treat, to come up with those type of memes. Yeah, minor golf. Hold on a second. Oh, okay. Yeah. I would do StreamYard, but as I said, I'm not able to do it with the circumstances. I'm not sure if minor golf can go live. Maybe you could hop on there, Iger. I don't know what he's up to, but unfortunately, I'm not able to do that at the moment. So as I said, I do what I can, but I'm limited with what I'm able to do, if that makes sense. You know, and I don't want it to be that way, but all for the circumstances, that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nemo speaks in third person, which I do it sometimes, but I do it just to be funny. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Yo, Nemo, I got a question. I got a question for you, Nemo. Is Jesus black? Is Jesus black? That's my question for you. Yo, Diane. Hey, man, you gotta click the link, man. Next time you see us live on next time you see us live on what is it? StreamYard, you gotta click the link, man. Because a lot of guys in the comment section, they're talk all types of smack and why they don't agree with you, but then when they're given the opportunity, they don't want to hop on and talk, right? Most of these butters in the chat have came on and actually have a discussion with us, in the past, most of the people on here. But a fair amount of names I'm seeing in here have not clicked the link before. So those of you who have not, you know who you are. You got to click the link, man. You got to hop in. Oh, yo, is Primal Man live right now? What the hell is he talking about? I know that Tazariak is live on his page, but I didn't know good. What's this cat? I didn't know that Primal Man was live. Let me see. Which we're gonna be closing up in just a minute. I let it go a little bit longer than anticipated. Nah, you're cool, Diane. We don't like to talk over people like what Perry does. I mean, that's insane. Trying to talk with him. I mean, that's no way to handle a panel. We would like to bring people on for friendly chats. So as I said, next time we're on StreamYard, Diane, click the link and come hop on. Let's chat about the scriptures. We don't do it the way Perry does. That's just that guy's a damn joke. That's all I can say. It's unbelievable. You can't even have a conversation with someone like that. You try to ask him something. He's like, "Do you sin? Do you sin? But do you sin?" Right. So after you give the answer to the question about if you sin, then he'll respond and say, "But do you sin?" Right. And you got to answer it another way somehow. So I mean, it's crazy, man. That's all I can say. Um, but anyway, I think I'm gonna call that the show there. I thank everyone for hopping on to have a chat. If anybody made it to the end of the show, let's see. We'll give Nemo a little shout out. Go ahead and put hashtag Nemo in the comment section down below just to give him a little shout out because he hopped on a little late. Um, but yeah, I thank everyone for coming by. I will definitely be doing another StreamYard stream in the very near future. Um, Possibly tomorrow morning. I'm not sure on that. That's subject to change, but definitely in the near future we're going to be doing one. So everyone's welcome to click that link and to come hop on the stream. But anyway, I'm going to wrap up the show with that. And of course, all praise to Yahweh, his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus Christ. And I'm going to say shalom.